So today is one of the bigger games of Caitlin Clark's career. Um, this is a massive one. This is a massive, massive, massive one. It's her first game against Angel Reese in over a year. It's her, like, with the way things are going on behind the scenes with stuff, like, it becomes crazy. It becomes absolutely crazy. And we've now got the second best team in the WNBA facing off against a team who are pretty much in a position where it's like another loss and they're in a bad spot. Like the Indiana Fever, if they lose tomorrow or today, they're 4-5, and then they play New York in the next game. And look, if they win, they're 5-4. It's one of those things where it's like you can absolutely get by being 5-4. It is genuinely one of those things where if you're looking at it, wow, ESPN Fever ban reporter after reporting on Caitlin Clark injury, jeez. But it's one of those games where it's like, look, if you're 5-4, especially with the fact that everybody's beating everybody, you're now looking at it and it's like, okay, we're back on track. We've beaten a really good Golden State team. We've beaten a really good Atlanta team. And yeah, this game becomes a very interesting one because if you look at just the way that, because look, I'm going to be real. We can all have our opinions. My opinion is that Atlanta win by 20. That is my opinion. But at the end of the day, my opinion is only my opinion. And we all know when it comes down to it that, like, there are a lot of things that will decide. Like, the maddest thing is that, look, Vegas is predicting that Indiana win this game. Like, the Indiana Fever are the favorites to win this game. So 10 games. Oh, sorry, they lost their last two playoff games. But the expectation is that Indiana win this game. Like, if you're looking at, again, the Fever or the Dream to win by 20, you're getting ridiculous odds, which is one of those things where it's like, I don't bet. I'm not someone that does, but it's like, that's my out prediction. Even looking at insides, like Kelsey Mitchell exceeded 20 at 1.5 points plus in 7 of her last 8 points plus assists in 7 of her last 8 home games. And you're looking at it here where it's like Jordan Canada. It says here, obviously, it's versus top 5 defense in 3 points attempt allowed. And the Indiana Fever, Jordan Canada's probably not going to attempt 3-point shots because she's going to burn Caitlin Clark. And again, if you look at the matchup here, you've got the 10th best defense versus the 9th best offense. The, the best offensive rebounders versus the worst defensive rebounders. You've then got, again, as far as free throw rates, I think this is given up free throw rate. You've got a team that gives up near the most free throws versus a team that doesn't get to the free throw line that well. So you're looking at it here, and other than rebounds, and by the way, the Fever are last in rebounds. Other than rebounds, you're looking at a defensive team, a really good defensive team versus a really good offensive team. And the thing with the Atlanta Dream is, again, if you're looking at it here, like if you go offense for offense, clearly, like the Fever are the better offensive team. They commit less turnovers. They shoot the ball better. But again, they are 8th in offensive rebound percentage, which they're not actually bad in offensive rebounder. They're 7th in free throw rate themselves. They're still leading the league in points per game versus a team that's 9th in points per game. But again, if you look at the defense of the Atlanta Dream, they are in points per game conceded. They're second only to Golden State. They're the best team at containing free throws. They are the best. They're second in the league in how little. Oh, maybe the Fever are the best in the league at the offensive rebound percentage on the defense end given up. Not the worst. They force the third most turnovers. They, again, obviously the concede free throw percentage doesn't really matter. But like they get more, or they're better rebounding team than the Indiana Fever, and no, they're actually not even a better defense rebound team than the Fever, which is kind of mad. But also they don't block that many shots, but they get a lot of steals. They force a lot of turnovers. This is one of those situations where it is absolutely a offensive team versus a defensive team, and anything can happen in these scenarios. There's always the other things, the other factors, the pressure factor. There's no pressure on Atlanta to win this game at all, any more so than there is on Atlanta to win a random game on a Thursday night. There is serious pressure on the Indiana Fever to win this game. Like, I can't remember the last time I would say that Caitlin Clark has been under more pressure for a regular season game. And maybe you could say the last two times Caitlin Clark's faced Angel Reese, she had a triple-double, and she also had a 30.12 assist game and was the only player in WNBA history to do that. So to act like the Caitlin Clark hasn't dominated versus Angel Reese to start her career is completely wrong. It's completely wrong. Caitlin Clark is absolutely Caitlin Clark has, especially later on, the last two times, 26, something like 26 and 11 assists are her averages. There's one triple double in there. You're looking at a player here who is genuinely one of the top players in the world, and even though the media narrative is entirely against her, this is where she can show that she's the top player, one of the top players in the world. This is where it's done. And the problem is like the media has already turned on you. Like, if you are Caitlin Clark, the media has turned on you. Things don't get easier against this team, by the way. Things do not get easier because Jordan Canada is equally as good. She's not equally as good as Carla Late downhill, but like, she's much better than Sarah Ashley Barker, who was also burning her downhill. I think she's as good as Veronica Burton downhill. I think Veronica Burton going downhill is not that much better going downhill, or is not much. Yeah, I don't think she's better at all going downhill versus Jordan Canada, who is an elite downhill and super, super quick. So we're in situations now where it's like, okay, this is where it really matters, because if the Indiana Fever continue to switch everything, if the Indiana Fever don't fight through, and the fact is that they might still be switching everything, because the Atlanta Dream are a team that maybe they feel like they can't switch everything. Because I do feel like Caitlin Clark, like Alicia Gray wants to shoot the three ball. I think Alicia Gray is very deliberate on how she goes to the basket. I think Ryan Howard just wants to pull back and shoot the three. So if either of them get switched on to Caitlin, Caitlin's probably going to start this game on Ryan. And Caitlin has now got a game here where she actually can kind of match up. Like, Ryan Howard is not, she's big and she's strong, but she's not going to just burn Caitlin. We saw it last year. Caitlin guarded Ryan for decent chunks of that game and did a good job on her. Like, Ryan Howard, her shot diet is 80% three-point shots. And look, if Ryan Howard's hitting, and also, no matter what happens, she can't do a worse job on Ryan Howard than Connecticut did. Ryan Howard at 20.5 on Connecticut. Alicia Gray at 18.5. So no matter what happens, like, Ryan Howard can do that. This is not like letting Carla Late just cook you. It's realistically one of those things where it's like, Ryan Howard can cook anybody. But yeah, this is a big one. Like, this is a really, really big one here. And I feel like in general, we have now got the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese rematch. We've got the rematch we need. And this can be the redemption. This can genuinely be the redemption when it comes down to Caitlin Clark. Because we know what Caitlin Clark has is able to do when she's playing well. We also know the narratives that are going on around Caitlin Clark. And the fact is that there is a non-zero chance that some of these narratives are being pushed by her own team, like her own front office. There's not a guarantee that some of these narratives aren't being pushed by her own front office. But yeah, it is. This is a big one. This is really, really big one. Because I just feel like the Indiana Fever are going to get it done. I feel like they're going to go and get it done. I feel like they're not going to go and get it done. Sorry, I think they're going to implode. Like, this goes one of two ways for Indiana. They either are incredible or they implode. I have a really bad feeling they're going to implode.